I think it's on.
Well, good morning. This is our Tuesday morning group. I am Pastor Brian.
I'm Al Warman.
I'm Kurt Anderson.
Okay, and we are here this morning to take a look at the passage from Mark 12, verses 41 to 43. But let's first open in prayer for the day. Father, we give you thanks for the dawning of this new day and all that you have in store for us. Father, lead, guide, and direct our steps, and that we may be attuned to your will and your ways. Father, teach us this morning about what it is to be generous. In Jesus' name. So, this passage this morning is the widow's offering. And it says in verse 41, Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a fraction of a penny. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put in more into the treasury than all the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything she had to live on.
You know, when I think about those verses, it reminds me of how Jesus oftentimes contrasts with, whatever the going thought of the day is. And you had a number of people in that culture that would, when they would come to the temple, the offering was in a very prominent place, and it was this giant brass container, almost shaped like a trumpet. And when you would drop coins in it, it would actually make a ton of noise. And so a lot of times people would use it as a chance to draw attention to how much they're giving. And this is in contrast with this woman, a widow, who's giving everything she had. And when I think about this too, I in that culture, you think about a widow. It's not like a man that could go and maybe do some labor in a field the next day. What she has, there's no clear path for how to get more money for her. I mean, so this really is everything she has, and she doesn't really know where any more money is going to come from. And so it just takes incredible faith on her part to do that.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I remember the first time I read this passage, and I come from a tradition in different churches where it was really common to feel like we were never quite good enough for God. And I remember reading this passage and thinking, oh no, I'm in big trouble because here's this woman giving everything she has, so now I need to go out and put myself in financial risk and just give everything I have to God so I can please Him. And but I've grown and realized that it's really not about what we give or what we have or the resources we have, but it's about our heart. Are we willing to trust God and give up things that maybe the world or ourselves or our families are telling us we need to just hold on to desperately because we won't be able to survive without Him. So when I read this, I just think about, wow, what would it be like if I could just trust Jesus so I could let go of some of those things I so desperately hold on to.
Yeah, it makes me think about how tightly I would tend to clutch on things, and that may or may not be necessary. And it's not just necessarily money, but it can be other resources, and particularly how you use your time, how much you're going to do of this or that in the service of the Lord. And it's the life of being generous or being stingy. And I think that is one of the lessons from this passage.
When I think about how it makes me feel, there's an admiration for this woman. I had someone just share, as we were talking about this earlier, that the heroes of the faith aren't usually the mighty, but they're the willing. And this woman's a perfect example of that. And you just go, wow, what trust, what an amazing woman. And there's just a desire to say, I want to be like her, to have that kind of faith in my life and trust as well.
Yeah, and it just gives me feelings of great hope because here Jesus is using this woman as an example to teach on what it's like to love Him. So I don't have to be the CEO of a company or have all these great resources to be a hero with Christ, to show my love to him. I just have to be willing to trust and to give away.
Well, what's it make us want to do different? What do you guys think?
Well, I want to reassess how I live my life, whether or not I'm being generous in my daily activities, and not keeping for myself when I have the means to do something else.
Yeah, and I know there's times for me when I really just want to hold tight to my own personal time, where maybe I want to just lock myself away and just do what I want to do. And maybe I need to take a look at that, and there's areas where I could trust God that I could give that time away.
Yeah, no, I agree, guys, that's really about checking that heart attitude and that posture we have towards all of it. Sometimes we call that like a whole life generosity. How are we using what's been entrusted to us? We're never really the owners, not just of money, but of our time and our energy, our gifts, all those things that really they belong to God, and they're His, and they're meant and used for service to Him and His kingdom. And it's just one of those constant things where we always have to just keep checking ourselves and reassessing that. Well, guys, let me close in prayer, and we'll hope you have a great day after that. God, you give us your greatest gift in life through Jesus Christ. So often we are caught up in the treasures of this world and our own comfort and convenience and security. Remind us that you are enough, that we can trust you. Amen. Have a great day.